Previously on Inmates.
Do you know who you're fucking with? Do you have any idea the amount of shit you have just brought on yourself? A guy in a bar, just some nameless bar, not the one you were in, someplace downtown. And Mickey, come on, man, you've got to go home sometime. It's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be an easy job. And he looks down at like a printed out, like an actual photo of a group of guys. To the side of the picture is a white delivery van. A large reptilian frame walks across some sort of like spaceship deck. Do we know where the relay is? Yes, Commander. We must recover the relay. And then he goes, for the Archon, and he holds out his chakram.
At some point, as we're going back to our cells, I will look at Liberator, and she's very clearly asking you, like, does he fucking know there's something wrong with you?
Only one of us has a kill switch. Next time, when I give you an order, follow it.
How did the suit perform?
Good. It was good. Yeah. When do you want my full report?
They expect it on the desk no later than end of day.
Awesome. Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that for you, boss. That's all good.
You did good out there, kid.
Here at the Avery building, where an ongoing hostage situation has resulted in a stalemate between one James McManus and the local authorities. Known by Mickey amongst his friends, authorities report that he entered the 10th floor offices of Thompson and Rye Associates, brandishing weapons and taking the employees present hostage. Police have been unable to enter the building or regain sight of those inside due to all the windows being covered in what is suspected to be Kevlar blankets. No apparent demands have been made, though one of the window coverings does have the word Liberator seemingly spray-painted on it. This terrible crisis comes only months after a tragedy struck these very offices, where an enhanced individual manifested, causing terrible loss. The warden just kind of turns off the TV and turns and looks to Liberator as he stares at very familiar-looking offices. Well, normally I wouldn't send you in for a hostage situation, as the local authorities can genuinely handle this sort of thing, but this individual seems to be requesting you specifically. According to my own experience and from what Dr. Mills has been able to ascertain, the individual inside does seem to have a rather impressive level of tactical knowledge. The Kevlar blankets are sure to not only block out sights, but also make any sort of sniper much less efficient. There is no line of sight. The building, 14 stories in all, does have multiple ingress points, but the floor itself where the office is has been entirely locked down by Mr. McManus. Now, we've tried to find out whatever we can about Mr. McManus, but the only thing we've been able to learn is that he is a Afghanistan veteran, where he served as Army infantry. He served a single tour. Him and his fellow soldiers all brought back seemingly together at the same time following a IED situation. Now, it seems that Mr. McManus has jumped from job to job since the return from his deployment. But the curious thing is we've been unable to find, at least on record, any form of official employment over the last few weeks, going well into a couple months. This is entirely a normal occurrence in the city, but what this likely means is Ms. McManus is working under the table, as they say, a term I still don't understand. Now, because of this situation, and because your name specifically has been requested, Liberator, as well as the specific location that this hostage situation is occurring at, I've decided that in this particular instance, I'm going to send you all to try and defuse this situation. The local authorities have not been particularly helpful with us, so you may need to touch base with them. Mind you, you have no official authority there, so they do not have to acquiesce to any information request, nor do they have to cooperate with you. The good thing is that any sort of heroing that you do is covered under a number of the laws established by the years of vigilant precedent. Now, obviously, there are innocent lives on the line, both in the office itself and the surrounding area. Property damage is something we're going to have to be very careful about. The rest of the building is said to have been evacuated, but again, I don't have any reliable information as to the local authorities are not being particularly cooperative. Does anyone have questions? I can provide what answers I can. Yes, Crash.
If he's working under the table, why don't we just move the table or lift it?
That's what I thought, but apparently it means when someone is working for money, but they're not telling anyone that they're working for money. I don't know where the under the table thing comes from.
Okay.
Well, it's an idiom, and it means the exchange of money without people seeing. So, because it happens under the table, that's where the saying comes from.
So they're actually passing the money back and forth under.
Figuratively speaking.
I think I understand.
They may pass it under the table. That may be the case in certain things, but for the most part, it just means on the down low, as it was.
So, Warden.
Yes.
They are on the 10th.
10th floor of 14 floors.
14. And without any support from local law enforcement, are we able to utilize any means necessary to see inside that building or to do what needs to be done?
Well, we need the safety of the hostages is paramount, more so than anything else. We also have to be careful of, again, property damage so that we do not cause any sort of debris to fall or anything on the surrounding gathered crowd or the local authorities who have gathered. It's becoming quite a media spectacle. Beyond that, I've been around long enough that sometimes people are very creative about accessing things they shouldn't. And again, my concern is more about saving the people inside, and after that, seeing that Mr. McManus gets the help he needs.
Speaking of which, he's asking for Liberator specifically? Is this someone we should be aware of?
He hasn't answered any questions, and he hasn't responded to any contact from the authorities. Again, as far as I know, according to Dr. Mills, there's been no crossover between Liberator and Mr. McManus.
Oh, so you don't know him, Liberator?
Unfortunately not.
He knows you.
Apparently. Do we have any information regarding Mr. McManus?
From what we have understood, Mr. McManus was employed as a dock worker. It was his last official form of employment. He has not collected any money since then. There's been no movement in his bank account, which I am told is quite low. Again, that's Dr. Mills, who told me that.
I think the better question is, Liberator, have you spent any time in the Middle East?
No.
Oh, he was a dock worker, right? Weren't we just on the docks?
Yeah, that's where my mind's at.
Well,
So we make big scene there.
Dock worker, how... Sorry, yeah. Go on, please.
We believe that this has happened late morning. No one had even gone to lunch yet. Fortunately, the building itself, many of the individuals have since left, either because they were unaware of the situation or because the police have gotten them out. But it is midday. Traffic is at an all-time high. The street has been mostly cordoned off, but again, local news outlets, onlookers, and the authorities themselves have all gathered.
Do we have an idea of how many hostages?
Again, we don't know exactly, but I believe that the local authorities have said that there is a large number of people in the office. Atlas, can you still not hear me well?
You're
Yeah,
just
I can
quieter
hear
than
you.
ever. You're just quiet. I can hear you. It's just like when there's multiple, I lose you completely. Like everyone else seems so much louder than you. That's all. I don't know if it's your mic or if it's. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to move my mic a little bit further away because you hear my breathing in every audio. Like I could move it closer and then you'll know. But again, because the local authorities are being incredibly uncooperative, I think they don't necessarily agree with the program that I'm trying to establish here. They haven't been particularly forthcoming. They may be more forthcoming to in-person requests for information, but I can't say for certain.
Has he specified whether he wants to see me alone?
To my knowledge, that one writing of your name on the Kevlar blanket is the only demand that has been made.
Well, I think I should go in there alone.
Well, my plan was to teleport you to one of the unoccupied nearby rooftops, and then you could discuss the operations from there. Now, far be it from me to be an armchair coach here, but I have handled this sort of situation once or twice back in my day. Crash, you're going to have to be very careful. People of our strength can often make these situations worse by bringing the building down or causing debris to rain down upon the citizens. But you will definitely be needed. Halo, you have a particular set of skills which may be helpful in acquiring information. Cypher, I don't know what sort of surveillance the building itself has, but you may be able to do the phone thing. I'm not exactly. It's not really my.
I remember that time in Milwaukee that you walked into with the hostages.
Yes, you put up quite a fight for those few seconds.
Yeah. Few seconds, few hours. We'll debate it later.
No, my memory is pretty good. The hostage situation, took a long time. Your traps were pretty ingenious, but Your armor was, well, never up to a good old...
No. Well, hopefully we can use this the other way this time.
Now, I understand that they have SWAT there, and they specifically have a hostage negotiator. These are New York City's finest trained specialists in this sort of situation, and they have not been able to get any progress on the situation. So everyone, be mindful that Mr. McManus apparently has skills far beyond what his Afghanistan service report says.
Okay.
Now, is everyone ready?
Yep.
As always?
Yeah, Doc patched me up good. Let's go.
All right. Report to the transport pad. You know where it is. Dr. Mills will meet you there with any additional information.
Yes, sir.
So you guys turn.
Go first.
Yep, I'll go.
Everyone get headed on out.
Behind him.
Yeah, I'll lean over to Halo. Hey, is he still the team leader? Just wondering.
Cypher's definitely not. No.
Well, I didn't know.
Oh, like
Okay.
last time?
Yeah.
That was just a you and me thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they, delicate situations call for delicate matters. We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
She'll just kind of elbow him and walk up the door.
Follows.
So you guys get making your way out through the...
Oh! Sorry. I just knocked my entire light over. I'm so sorry. Give me 2 seconds.
You guys get making your way past the, down the hallways, these white sort of, Apple store style kind of like halls, like pristine with the kind of, recessed kind of terrariums. The entire place is sterile feeling, broken up by these patches of gorgeous green and plants, whatnot, built into the walls. And then when you get headed by, various of the white-walled prison cells where you see different prisoners, different like super people. But as you get making your way towards the transfer pad, you guys find yourself making your way past the one prison cell that always looks different. The one that's absolutely opaque, covered in black soot. And as you get making your way past it, I need everyone but Crash to give me an insight roll.
What do I do for a walk faster roll? Halo don't fuck about that cell.
Okay.
25.
Ah, shit. 7.
We playing big tonight, boys.
23.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Liberator, you're just kind of making your way, like you're focused, your mind's on other things. But as you're walking by the cell, Cypher, you kind of notice the cell, which is you haven't kind of been wandering back and forth as much as they have. But you notice the cell. What you notice more is Crash kind of lumbers a little bit. Like he walks very carefully by it, like an animal walking by something he doesn't know what it is, or something that's like making a noise, like a cat skirting the vacuum cleaner, Like he certainly seems very wary of it. And Halo, you immediately notice that Crash is uncomfortable by that cell. It definitely, I am, like, you can see that he's disturbed, and, Halo, you kind of, I presume just by reflex, kind of reach out towards him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's like when your dog's bark changes and you can hear the change.
So Crash is your
Crash.
dog.
No.
So
Crash is my
Crash,
bestie.
you can feel it again.
Yeah.
Like the presence from that cell is rotten. It feels like burning trash, acrid. And it makes you physically kind of nauseous just being near this cell. Crash
Move a
just
little
continues
faster.
to hustle towards the cell.
Yeah,
All right.
don't like it.
You guys make your way back. Cypher, you kind of look at that cell for a little bit. Make your way past. And you guys get to the transport pad, which is, just another one of these white rooms with a single kind of round, like, metal disc in the middle of the room. Slightly depressed. Like, you actually have to take the slightest step down. There's a bunch of different, like, kind of consoles, whatnot. And you see Dr. Mills there, looking at a tablet. And he kind of continues to mouth something, like he's reading something. And he kind of turns as you kind of walk in. Oh, good, you're all here. We have the teleportation pad set up to transport a lot of you to the nearest rooftop location capable of sustaining your weight. It took some time to get the proper calculations, since they do not update these records, and you have to be skeptical of the architect's designs. But you should all be able to walk on this rooftop fairly easily. You're approximately 2 buildings away. Once you're transported there, that will also be your extraction point if you finish early or you require it in an emergency. The transportation pad will require some recalibration should you acquire the individual in question and they require our level of detainment.
We super concerned about that?
Well, the situation, as I'm sure Cypher would agree, is curious. Mr. McManus was regular infantry in the Afghanistan War. His skill set is nothing impressive. His entry scores were nothing of note. Mr. McManus does not have a particularly interesting high school record. He has no college degree. He has no skill set that would determine anything other than basic firearms proficiency as taught by the U.S. military and the basic hand-to-hand combat also taught by it. Certainly taking him a level above the average civilian, but certainly nothing that would indicate someone capable of stumping the specialized response teams of New York City SWAT. It is...
While the doctor's talking about this, Cypher's also bringing up all the information he can by tapping into the tablet. So he's now seeing it all.
You're trying to hack Dr. Mills' tablet?
I'm trying to sort of get a mirror version of it, yeah.
Okay, give me a technology roll.
Let's hack more sync.
Sync it.
Sync it.
There's only a 14 in total.
Sync it real good.
He just kind of looks at you. You're trying to, from there, you're trying to hack in things, just doing everything from the inside of the suit. And he doesn't even acknowledge your hacking attempts. You are certain he is aware.
I say I need the knowledge too. That's why I'm doing.
Doing what?
He looks. It is disconnect between what we know about the man and what we are seeing. Those two things do not reconcile based on the information we have.
I have a question.
Now, the circumstances would indicate that one should be cautious that perhaps there is some sort of heightened ability that he has gained in order to achieve this, or, barring that, the involvement of an additional party.
Sorry, Doctor, just 1 second. I believe my friend over there had a question.
I have a question. How tall is the building we're landing on?
The building itself is 14 stories tall. I don't know exactly.
14. That's the same number as the other building, right? That the
Yeah.
hostages are in?
The hostages are in the Avery building, which is 14 stories tall. Yes.
So both buildings
Okay.
are 14 stories.
Yes.
So same.
Yes.
Thanks.
Good question, buddy.
Thanks.
Now, whether there's information we don't have, whether whether Mr. McManus has been somehow enhanced or has skill sets we're unaware of, or he has allied himself with a additional individual, we cannot say, but all we know right now is that he is certainly more threatening than all the information we have would indicate. And considering hostage takers always have the advantage in the situation, one should be mindful. The one skill set I think that may be of particular interest is Mr. McManus's entire squad was in fact privy to a pretty terrible IED attack. He himself may have taken an interest in improvised explosive devices. In that situation, he himself might have some explosive knowledge.
Good to know.
Okay.
So watch before you fly, or run, or drop, or stomp. Well, just see what he wants with our boy Liberator here.
Let's go.
She kind of like rolls her shoulder and like goes to give the doc a high five before the other hand goes out for her rings.
You kind of put your hand out, and one of the almost like the built-in lockers in the wall kind of opens on up, and they kind of fly into hand, like both of them kind of like into the one hand. I need everybody to give me a perception roll.
Perception.
Ooh, that's going to be
Ooh.
good.
I'm good at that. Oh, but I rolled bad. 15.
It's going to be 20 on the nose.
27.
Dirty 20.
Dirty.
Dirty 20.
Hey, why do I have potato chips
Last
up here?
dirty 20 of the session.
27.
29.
Nice.
All right.
Forensic died.
Liberator, like as you start making your way towards the transport pad, the doctor immediately kind of goes back to looking at his tablet, and he's kind of muttering to himself. He can't quite make out what it is because, unfortunately, because of your heightened senses, you can start hearing the thrum of the pad kind of powering up. So it kind of creates this sort of white noise. Halo, he continues to say, Alzandua, 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 Alzandua. And he keeps saying this word that means nothing to you, but he keeps changing, like he's trying to figure out the proper way of saying it. Crash, you have heard a lot of human languages since you awoke. This doesn't sound like the human languages you've heard. I mean, you came from Africa, you've heard all these different languages, and then you came, to America, heard a bunch of different others. You've been in New York City, heard about it. It doesn't sound right to you. It doesn't sound like something humans speak. Cipher, that sounds like Zytar. which is one, the language of the aliens which invaded back in the 80s, which brought about the current age of superheroes. And it is a race that has only seen one time since the 80s. The Zytar invasion back in the 80s literally is what caused like superhero teams to start forming. Before that, it was very isolated in like World War, II. There's rumors that some go back even further, but the 80s was when it happened. The team Vigilant, which is the most renowned team known to exist, interestingly enough, the team the Warden was on for many years, was formed as a result of that invasion. But he is legit saying a Zytar word. Like, you are familiar with the language in passing. Like, you would recognize it. You don't know what it means.
So I'm guessing what I'm going to do then, Cypher sort of slows down a bit, lets everyone sort of part, and he slowly turns to the doctor and goes, "What's the Zytar word you're saying?"
He turns and looks at you. We have been studying the broken polyhedral, which you recovered the piece from during your last outing. We have able to decipher some Zytar script on it. The term that we have been able to ascertain is Alzandua, which doesn't match any of our records of the Zytar language. We don't know if it is a partial script of a larger word, or if it has some sort of meaning that we have not been able to decipher.
So the polyhedral is possibly Zytar.
The first immediate conclusion is that the polyhedral is, in fact, Zytarian, but we only know that the polyhedral has Zytar script upon it. We do not know for certain, based on the data, that the object itself is of Zytar design. It doesn't match anything. And he glances very, very pointedly towards Halo's chakram.
Who is pointedly not even paying attention to that conversation. Like,
It doesn't match Zytar design language.
I have an understanding of Zytarian. If there's any questions, Doctor, I'm always around. And he turns to stop.
He goes, I may refer to your expertise on the matter.
Okay. I'll see you when I get back. He turns and he starts to...
So,
yes, teacher, no teacher.
I'm just sitting going, like, I'm always around. Yeah, you don't give him his phone number, just give him his cell number.
Why don't you just fuck his leg while you're at it?
Oh, he might like that too much.
Not what you know, it's who you know.
But you guys
how
get
you know
onto
them,
the
apparently.
transport pad, and then there's that strange sort of digitizing of everything around you. Everything kind of breaks down into low-res block. And there's that brief feeling almost of like weightlessness. And then everything goes back into high res, and you're standing on the rooftop of a New York City building. It is a gorgeous day. The sky is mostly blue with giant fluffy clouds way up in the sky. It's warm, you know what I mean? Almost uncomfortable for some people. It's like 80 degrees.
That one looks like me.
It
Oh,
does.
wow.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Well done.
Okay. The city still has all its normal sounds, the horns, the cars, the people. But you can also kind of hear like muffled megaphones every so often, and you can see plainly from where you guys are. You're a couple buildings over. There's like a shorter building between you guys and the building in question. Okay? The Avery building. The Avery building has, again, as plain as can be, you see there's a number of SWAT already up there on top. You can see they have put in repelling spikes.
Do we know a significance about the Avery building? Like, what is it? Is that
It
common
is-
knowledge?
The Avery building is just the name of the building. A lot of buildings in New York City have names. So you don't know anything off the top of your head about it. You can give me a streetwise or an investigation if you like. Anyone can give me a streetwise or investigation, or any knowledge you want to roll. I'll make it work. Any expertise you want to roll, I'll make it work.
Yeah, because I have neither of those.
Business.
Anyone I can roll?
Any one you want to roll, I will make it work.
Oh, you're a gem.
Not business. No business.
No business.
It's
No
no
business.
no business of yours.
17 expertise alien. That's all I
Okay.
got.
What'd you get, Cypher?
Then 9.
No.
Crash Liberator, you guys rolling
It's
at
going
all?
to the back of the pot.
No,
No, I'm
no.
I don't see
Do
it
what?
being necessarily relevant at the moment.
Strangely, Cypher, that's your problem. Like, Avery building, it doesn't have gems, high technology, anything where why would it's insignificant. It is so far beneath you.
Y'all apparently higher than middle class. There's always a reason for a location. She doesn't say
Um,
that, but she's thinking it.
and what did you get, Halo?
17.
17. The Avery building you do remember. Because a few months-ish ago, apparently you had heard about the enhanced individual emerging at that location. It was pretty bad. It was a worker there who supposedly developed powers and accidentally trashed the place. It said someone even died. And at first people always worry about this, that, the other thing, but you remember it specifically because some people were worried that it was like another alien attack because it's just some random office building. But
What were his powers, or her, I guess?
they say there's not much there because they were pretty quickly detained by kind of they were pretty quickly detained by other enhanced individuals. But it is said that they had some sort of super durability and super strength. But the thing you remember most is that it was some sort of law firm, but not like it. But apparently it was strange. It was a law firm, but it wasn't like people think of, like they're not the sort of people who like sue you for car accidents or something like that.
No, I gotcha.
But yeah, no. So you distinctly remember, and matter of fact, like you are fairly certain, it was on the 10th floor that it happened.
Okay.
But yeah, so there you guys are on top of this building, probably an apartment building. You're not exactly sure. The rooftops like mostly empty. You can still see a slight sort of kind of like almost like a steam in a circle where like the perimeter of the transport pad would be. But
Okay.
It's gorgeous.
Okay, so I think Mr. McManus is a pawn. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Those are my thoughts. His abilities can be accounted for, but if he's got equipment with his job, he wouldn't have been able to afford it. Someone is bankrolling him.
I mean, looking at the information log pad, yeah, this McManus shouldn't have been able to do what he's done. Just
Even
off the
with-
back of these.
Yeah, even with enhanced abilities, that doesn't account for the equipment.
So how are we approaching this?
I think I've got to go in alone.
He can go in alone. The rest of us start. Cypher, if you can start evaluating the building structure, blueprints, anything to see how we can get people out.
I can do recon.
He turns and starts turning on his infravision to sort of see through the CE signatures and everything.
So you're going to do that. Is anyone else going anywhere doing anything for the moment?
Crash is gonna go hang out with some pigeons on the corner of the building.
Stop. I'm going to end up buying a Team Crash shirt, and I'm supposed to be supporting my own team.
I am partial to giving our friend Crash a lift over. Did you say sorry, Connell, did you say the SWAT were on the roof of this building?
There is some SWAT on the roof of the Avery building in particular. They're clearly getting the rappelling lines ready in case they're going to do the, jump down and like breach through the windows.
And we know he's on the 10th floor, but we don't know about the hostages.
He's on the 14th. Is he on the 10th or the 14th?
He's on the building is 14 stories tall.
Right. He's on the 10th.
He's on the 10th.
Right.
The office itself is supposedly on the 10th. Whether the hostages are in that same area, you're not sure.
Okay, so how about before I go in, I go speak to the person in charge down there. See if I can get an allowance to get our friend Crash on top of that building.
That sounds like a better plan.
And then I'll go in, but Crash is there. Crash won't take very long if he has to get to me.
Can I see people from where we are? Like if I just like look over the edge, can I see like the cop members and the SWAT members?
Oh yeah, you can see police.
Oh,
like the building is absolutely surrounded.
I'm gonna scan for anything that sticks out as like beneficial information. Even bystanders, like if someone's watching.
The building is surrounded. It's cordoned off, pretty much on all sides. The street, the sidewalk across from the building is just lined with onlookers, like just absolutely lined. There are police cars kind of lining in front of the street, and there's around the one corner, there's a couple of the SWAT vans. I mean, there's easily 100, 200 people on site. Easy. Just everywhere.
I'll start that. My thing while they're doing all of that is I'll start scanning. I know it'll take a little bit, but
okay.
Yeah.
Cypher, is there any way you can find out who's in charge and if they've got a contact number?
Yes.
Okay. I want to speak to them via phone first.
So I start to.
Give me a technology roll, Cypher. Halo, give me a perception roll. Crash, give me a perception roll as well.
A pigeon roll.
Hey, pigeon.
So I forgot a 21.
25.
22.
Okay. So,
sorry, what were
Cypher,
we rolling? Because you kind of broke up.
Oh, am I breaking up? I'm sorry.
No, I did a minute ago. I didn't know everyone was rolling something.
No, I didn't ask you to roll anything. They're okay. So, Cypher, you very easily, managed to kind of go. You kind of like first go to like the news reports, then you kind of look at some of the footage, and then you find what looks like a detective in charge. Looks like there's a Hispanic woman in plain clothes standing by kind of one of the cars, like looking at her phone while a SWAT officer talks to her. From that, it's pretty easy from facial recognition to wind up searching her up, and then it is a brief sort of poke into the the a kind of officer listing of some of the nearby precincts to find the match, and then it's just a slight invasion of privacy later, where you are able to acquire the number from the police files.
He's a villain. It's fine.
Halo, you're kind of scanning, and there's all sorts of people there, and all of them are like kind of just they're just onlookers, like ooh, like something's going on. This is exciting, that sort of thing. Just gawking. The police seem frustrated from what kind of ambiently you're picking up. It seems like they are being the normal street cops are kind of being stopped by like the detective and SWAT seems very frustrated that they are kind of encountering a bunch of blocks to what they're doing. There's the tension level is high amongst the authorities, and they seem almost eager to breathe. There's the authorities, the police tension is very high, both the street cops and SWAT. And it looks like everyone's already getting tired of waiting. Crash, you kind of go on over and you're kind of dealing with the birds, and the birds seem a little off. Like they seem a little kind of like nervous. Now these are like pigeons, whatnot. Like they're not stressed out by the sounds, the cars, or anything like that. But something's kind of weirding them out, and you're trying to like calm them down, and you're just there, kind of talking at the pigeons, who aren't like they don't immediately like hop on you and like Disney princess, but they don't wander away from you. You are not a threat. You're an herbivore. Yeah, you're an herbivore. They're not worried about it.
So they're just Crash so much.
He's a Disney princess. It's going to happen now.
But then Crash, you stop, and you think you know what's bothering them. You hear very, very, very faintly this sort of
Is it a chanting or is it a
no? It's like
machine
a
humming?
humming. It's some sort of machinery, like very, very. It almost sounds like a fan or something, but it's very, very faint and hard to hear. Like even for you who have pretty good hearing. And the weird thing is it sounds close, but not like that doesn't make sense because it doesn't it doesn't sound like it's on the building.
Hey, Liberator.
Yeah.
You hear that? You hear that humming?
Oh, natural 20.
Hey.
Liberator, he kind of walks over and he goes, "You hear that humming?" And you're like, and then you just kind of tilt your head and you hear it. It is the distinct sound of machinery, of rotors, quieted rotors, maybe rubber plastic blades in a quieted house. And so you kind of walk over towards the edge. The pigeons flutter away.
No, friends.
Sorry, Crash.
That's okay.
You look out and look down, and like against the wall, right? Kind of right underneath one of the fire escapes, you can like see through the grate. You see a drone, like a remote controlled, almost like off the shelf style drone, just hovering on like a fire escape landing, not on top of it, but underneath it, like almost up against the grating. It's super quiet, and it definitely it looks like it has a camera on it, right? And you look at it and you're like, and then you realize that you're hearing it in more than one location. So you just kind of stop and you look, and then you look on out and you see another building on the other side of the Avery building, the big HVAC units on top. You see there's another one, like right on top of it. Like, just, again, another drone with a camera.
Whatever we're deciding to do should probably happen sooner than later. It's getting
Cypher.
real tense down there.
We've got company. We've got Crash pick something out. Can you see these drones? And I will point out where I'm seeing them.
Sort of look.
You kind of look on out, and you have extended vision, you have infravision, so you just kind of look on out. Give me a perception roll there, Cypher. Oh, 16, 26. Cypher, you kind of see them. You know, enhanced, and you look, and you can see the one out there, and you kind of go over and glance over. Crashy birds are never coming back.
Aw.
There's
I'll
a
Hey,
give you woods.
all I'm
mechanical
gonna
man.
say is
Hold on.
animals sense things, they know personalities.
Yeah. They'll come
But
back.
you kind of look over the edge, and you see the one there, and you're like, huh. And then you look out at the other one that he points out. There's a number of issues, Cypher. One, someone has specifically modified the rotors of these to be quieter. Both the inner housing and the rotors themselves are quieter, like making them very hard to hear. Two, it looks like they have an off-the-shelf, like 1080p camera on it, right? So like a decent resolution camera. You don't see anything that would indicate weapons or anything like that. But what you do notice, the most disturbing thing, beyond how they've been quieted, that's, people could do that. They also seem to have a self-contained coolant system in them, keeping them at ambient temperature. You can barely see them in infravision.
So somebody's watching us.
Which is definitely hard to do. The interesting thing is, Liberator, is they are definitely placed in such a way that they're watching the building and the situation, but they don't seem to be pointed at you or even in line of sight of you.
If I were to get you one of these, did you figure out where the signal's coming from?
I did attempt to.
No, right.
It didn't be too hard.
Sure.
But while we're talking, I have the details of the person in charge if you would like to talk to them.
Yeah, they're about to bust
he-
those doors down.
Okay, patch me through. What's the name?
He sort of,
It's a Lucia Perez.
Okay.
it's Detective Perez. And I sort of do a couple of button presses, and all of a sudden I'm like, it should be ringing now.
Thank you.
So on his comm set, it will
Okay,
start.
yep. The phone starts to ring, and it picks up pretty quickly. Detective Perez?
Hello, detective. My name is Liberator. I have a
I was
feeling
wondering
that
when you
you
would
may
show
be.
up.
Yeah, I will be down shortly. There's just a couple of things I need to take care of, and a couple of assurances I need before I do.
Well, before you go and do anything, I think you should run it by me since I'm in charge of this situation.
I'll come down and see you. But I've got a couple of requests.
You come down and see me, we'll discuss any request.
Yeah, but before I do, I've got a colleague that I would like to put on top of the Avery building.
Oh, a colleague.
Yeah.
Which colleague is this?
He's my rhino friend.
Okay.
You happy with that?
For now.
Okay, the other thing I need to ask, do you have drones about watching this the current situation?
Not outside. We have some explosive drones inside the building sniffing out. Given Mr. McManus's service history, we're worried that he may have rigged the building to blow.
Understandable. Okay. All right, I'll be down shortly, and I will run. I will come and see you first.
See you soon.
See you
hangs
soon.
up.
Ugh.
All right.
I
Hey.
was thinking.
Yes,
I
Crash.
was thinking. So remember how we do stuff and it's on TV?
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah, right. And we know that they're asking for you.
Yeah.
So we think this is a trap for you, right?
Yeah.
Some
100%.
sort of setup, yeah.
And you think that maybe those things are gonna put what we do on TV?
My guess is they're going to try put me in a compromising position.
Or put what we don't do on TV if we don't manage to get them all out. If this is a failed situation.
Give me some time with those drones and I'll make sure no one can see anything.
Okay. I'll be back in a second, and I'm just going to fly full pelt and grab that drone that's under the fire escape.
All right.
While we're just routinely whatevering, I'm gonna connect to Crash. Just casually. There's nothing about the situation that feels good. I'm on fucking edge. Like, I'm gonna connect with the unicorn.
You're always on fucking edge.
Yeah, there. I got a
It's
team.
my day off.
Yeah, I got bit last time. You weren't even.
Nah.
Give me an unarmed roll there, Liberator.
Unarmed, that is going to be a 23.
Okay.
I did that correctly. Yes.
Yeah. So, Liberator just kind of. Are you trying to get the one under the fire escape? You said the one like,
Closest
right by
one.
you?
I just need one
Yeah.
of them.
So he just kind of looks over the edge, and then he like floats up, and then he just soars down. You soar down, swoop under the fire escape, just grab it. Yoink! And where are you going with it?
I'm taking it back to Cypher.
I'm going to make sure the camera's not pointed at me. When he's bringing it over, I'm just going to sort of dodge out the way until I can sort of get it. No, not selfie. Cypher's going to try and, if he's going to give it to Cypher, Cypher's going to point it at the building and sort of slowly lower it down so it's sort of
He gets
at a
flying
level.
on over. Halo, you're kind of looking at the kind of the crowd here in detention. You kind of turn and look at Crash, who's still kind of over by the the fire escape section, right?
Trying to find the pigeons.
Waiting for the pigeons to come back, and then Liberator kind of floats back up. This drone just.
There you go.
Everybody, make me a dodge save.
Oh,
It's gonna explode, isn't it? Ooh, I rolled well. I rolled it good. I did a good roll. Oh, I'm 25.
15.
12.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's right. That's
Well,
right. That makes sense for your build.
Okay, now everyone, give me a toughness save.
All right.
That's a 30.
it's a 26.
It's a 19.
I would like to stand. I would like to stand in front of.
On your toughness?
Yeah,
Okay,
What'd you roll?
hold on.
15.
Oh,
Now I need
I need interpose. That's what
I need
you do
a
need interpose.
I need a will save from Liberator and Halo.
Ah, fuck you. Oh no, my will's fucking great. Not today though. Fuck.
16.
How the fuck did you roll higher than me? 14. I rolled a 2.
Well, that's how I rolled higher than you. My number was bigger than yours.
It's all
It's a
about
thing called concentric numbers. They go up sometimes.
genetics.
Because I was raised right. That's why.
All right.
Alice.
Oh yeah.
What did you
yeah,
get? What did you
right.
get?
I went to Sunday school.
I taught Sunday school.
Halo, what did you
Oh,
get?
that's why your numbers are lower.
Probably 14.
Oh,
What did you get, Liberator?
I got 16.
Oh, yeah, that won't do.
So those things you look back in your life and going, why did I do
alright.
that?
You have the drone. You're kind of extending it towards Cypher. Cypher, you're already kind of reaching towards it to kind of like see if it has any access panels, whatnot. It explodes. In such a massive, powerful explosion right off the top.